The following is taken from the 11th episode of Post TAP. If you want to hear the entire episode, links to the episode on Rumble and Spotify will be in the description. Moving on, this one last thing that I do want to talk about before I sign off here. I do want to talk about WWE again because I said I was going to talk about it later. WWE has had their first 2 episodes of Raw on Netflix. They had the premiere last week, and they had the second episode a couple days ago. I've seen both episodes, and I want to give my thoughts on them, but more I want to get into people's reaction to these episodes, because you know how I was talking about people are stupid? Yeah, that theme is carrying through into this portion of the podcast as well. I'm going to start with the premiere. I thought it was a good show. I know I'm absolutely in the minority here. And that's me saying I'm in the minority is gonna get real funny when I start talking about Hulk Hogan. But anyway, I thought the premiere was fine. Was it a little lacking in storyline development? Sure. But for me, my personal opinion, I think the production was god tier. I loved the way the show looked. My only problem with the way the show looked is the stupid Fortnite logo, because I still hate Fortnite. It's the Taylor Swift of video games. And I said that on X the other day, and some smartass was like, you mean that you're comparing it to something else that's really successful and made a lot of money? I'm sure they're really hurt over the No, the comparison I'm making is they're both fucking bland and boring, and only the most basic people like them. That's the comparison I'm making. I'm calling them both boring, milquetoast, snooze fest, mid. I'm calling them mid. I'm saying that people like mediocre things. People on X are so fucking dumb, I swear to God. But fortunately for me, they removed the Fortnite logo for the second episode of Raw on Netflix, so I won't complain too much about that. But, production-wise, A grade. And all 4 matches I thought were really good. I thought Roman and Solo was very good. I thought that the women's world title match between Rhea and Liv Morgan was very good. I thought Drew and Jay was fine, although I thought it was kind of pointless. And I thought CM Punk and Seth Rollins was very good. Although, my main criticism for the premiere on Netflix, way too many finisher kickouts. There was a finisher kickout in every single match, especially the main event. But before I get to the main event, did we need to have Jey Uso kick out of the Claymore? No, we didn't. I'll answer that question. It is a hypothetical question for you because I already had the answer. And there is a factual correct answer. The answer to that is no, we did not need to have Jey Uso kick out of the Claymore on an episode of Raw. Literally, the finish was Drew missing a Claymore and getting crucifixed for the pin. We didn't need to have Jey kick out of the Claymore kick. If that was going to be... It wasn't even a pay-per-view. Oh, I'm sorry. Premium live event. I will literally stab you with my lightsaber. And the CM Punk Seth Rollins match, as good as it was, there was 8 finishing moves used in that match. Seth Rollins used the go to sleep twice, the pedigree twice, the curb stomp. CM Punk used the curb stomp and 2 go to sleeps. Just, oh my God. Way too much. Although I will say, Seth Rollins nailed him really good with that first GTS. It got him right in the face. They beat the piss out of each other in that match. It was a good match, but did the main event of Monday Night Raw, I don't care that it's a premiere on Netflix, did the main event of Raw need to see 8 finishing moves be used? At least 5 of them kicked out of? No, it didn't need that. That was absolute. Like, alright. I would have accepted Seth steals the go to sleep. Punk kicks out. Punk uses the stomp. Seth kicks out. And then Seth hits a stomp, but Punk kicks out. Punk hits the GTS, but Seth kicks out. That's it! Right there, you already have 4 finishing moves being used and kicked out of. But, like, that would have been the absolute limit for me. The 5th one, whoever hits it wins the match. But no. Yeah, where I was like, oh, fuck off, was when he hit him with a pedigree on the announce table, threw him in the ring, and hit him with another pedigree, and Punk somehow still kicked out. Ridiculous. Okay? I'm sorry, that was ridiculous. Like, save that shit for WrestleMania. Save that for WrestleMania. You don't need that for Raw. Like, you killed the pedigree, you killed the GTS, you killed the stomp, even though Punk got his foot on the rope. Like, at least on the very last finisher, quote-unquote, kick-out, Punk got his foot on the rope to break that. Like, I'll accept that, but that double pedigree kick-out really got on my nerves. And the second, like, why did he hit him with 2 go-to-sleeps? Seth should have only hit him with 1 GTS. Why did he have to hit him with the second one? That second one was totally unnecessary. Like, that really bothered me. Just the absolutely ludicrous amount of finishers being used in the main event of Raw between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Just ridiculous. And yes, I will agree, a lot of people were upset with Cody Rhodes and The Rock being all chummy. That was weird, and The Rock basically not turning heel on Roman when he had absolutely the opportune time to do so. But the reason why I was able to look past it is because that was basically The Rock saying, yeah, I ain't gonna be at Mania. Or I'm not gonna be in a match at WrestleMania. He might be in like some kind of, like, oh, here's The Rock for 5 seconds to promote his steroid brand. I don't know. He's gonna be in a steroid movie or something. It's The Rock. Who knows? Who cares? They might be in some kind of plugging something capacity at WrestleMania, but that basically him on Netflix, basically being babyface Rock, being, oh, I'm so happy to be here. I love Netflix. I'm gonna suck the dick of the Netflix executives live on the air right in front of everyone here in the ring here. I'm going to get jizz all over my face. And this nice, lovely man beard that I'm growing out. They like to rub their shafts on a bit of a prickly surface. They don't like it that smooth. Oh, this is an interesting bit. But that whole appearance by The Rock on Netflix basically signaled to me that The Rock is basically not going to be much of a factor at WrestleMania. I could be wrong. We still have to. We're still not going to get a clear picture of what the Mania plans are until the Rumble and like the couple weeks after the Rumble. I honestly think there's a part of me that thinks that we got so mad at The Rock that now The Rock is too like, he's like, I don't know if I want to get involved anymore. The last time I got involved, everyone got mad at me and I had to radically change everything. So yeah, I'm kind of involved, but I don't want to be because the last time I got involved, everyone yelled at me. So I kind of get the sense that The Rock doesn't want to be involved because we got so pissed at him last time. But again, the reason why that didn't bother me as much on the premiere of of Raw on Netflix is basically it was confirming to me at least that, yeah, The Rock is likely not going to be involved in a huge way at WrestleMania this year like he was last year. But the story, what stood out to me the most coming out of Raw on Netflix, especially the premiere, was how much the fans were bitching, whining, and moaning on social media. Just, my God, you'd think that, like, fans had their loved ones and their pets murdered live on the air during this episode. They were acting like Raw on Netflix raped their childhood. Just, fans on social media are just the absolute worst, most insufferable, obnoxious twats on earth. Like, for example, there are a few people on, like some YouTubers that I like, even though sometimes I question. There I'm just like, would you just stop? Like, I sometimes listen to JD from New York. He screams too much all the time, constantly, and everything is hyper verbose and very repetitive. But sometimes he does make good points, and listening to him tear AEW a new asshole is always fun. But he went from, I was kind of disappointed by Raw on Netflix, to like 5 minutes later, Raw on Netflix sucked! I hated the premiere. It was awful. And I also, from time to time, listen to Geekdom 101 or his World of Geekdom channel. And one thing that I hate about Geekdom is he has two modes, kind of like JD. They both kind of have two modes where either something is great, amazing, fantastic, the best I've ever seen, or, oh, that wasn't that great. It was alright. I didn't really care for it. It was okay. Whenever, especially Geekdom, one thing that drives me nuts about Geekdom 101 is whenever he's like, it was alright. It wasn't the best. I have a few criticisms about it. Anytime he says something like that about anything, where he kind of mixed on it, a week later, I guarantee you, he'll absolutely despise it, and whatever was a week ago is now the worst thing he's ever seen. Just the hyperbolic nature of just this, oh, it was alright too. It's the worst thing I've ever seen! Like, listening to some of these people, you would think that the premiere of Raw on Netflix was the absolute worst episode of a television show you've ever heard of in your entire lives. People were legit acting like it was the worst episode of Raw ever. Bro, are you serious? Did you watch any episode of Raw? And I'm not saying that JD or Geekdom said that. They both just went the hyperbolic, oh, it was awful, it was terrible route. Where they went 1 second from, oh, it wasn't that great, or I wasn't super crazy about it, to, oh my god, I hate it, in no time flat. And whenever they do that, it drives me crazy. Like be consistent. Don't be hyperbolic immediately just to engage with your also hyperbolic fans and just to help the algorithm out. Because the reason why they do that, and it's super transparent, the algorithm, not just on YouTube, but like social media at all, having a nuanced opinion doesn't track well. It doesn't get views. It either has to be the greatest thing ever, or it has to be the worst thing ever, or people won't watch. So people sacrifice their integrity to either just suck the cock of whatever it is, or lambast it as hard as they possibly can for engagement. And that annoys me. And I'm not going to sit over here and talk about how great I am. Like, I'm not expecting this podcast to get a ton of views, and I'm okay with that. This is just a hobby of mine. But I'm not sitting over here saying the premiere of Raw on Netflix was the greatest show I ever saw. My thing is, I thought it was a good episode. Like, if I were to give it a letter grade, I'd probably give it a B. Like, I literally just listed some complaints that I had about the premiere. I'm not over here saying, oh, it's the greatest episode of Monday Night Raw to have ever existed ever. The second episode on Netflix was infinitely better than the premiere. But my problem is when people are acting like it's the worst thing they've ever seen. Can we not just have, one YouTuber that I watch, that I respect, one wrestling podcaster that I do listen to, that I do respect, is the Solid Monster. Because he did review it, and he wasn't super impressed by the premiere. But a week later, he wasn't still shitting on it. He acknowledged that some people were shitting on it, but he didn't magically change his opinion from, I wasn't impressed, to, oh my god, it was the worst thing I've ever seen. Solid Monster is at least consistent. I find a lot of nuance in his opinions whenever he discusses a show, because with a lot of people, it's either they loved it or they hated it. With Solid Monster, I generally get, sometimes he loves it, sometimes he liked it, sometimes he was in the middle, sometimes he didn't like it, sometimes he hated it. There's a spectrum of opinion with him. And there are some other creators that have a spectrum of opinion. I try to have a spectrum of opinion. Not just one extreme or the other, because I hate that shit. I fucking hate that shit. Leave that to the morons on X or like the idiots on Instagram comments. Seriously, go to Instagram right now. Pick any post. The top comment is going to be negative, whatever it is. Because engagement. Because they're hate farming. I hate that so much. It's so annoying. There's no nuance. There's no authenticity anymore. Everything either has to be the worst thing ever or it has to be the best thing ever. There's no in between, and I hate it. Also, I have to also get this off my chest. I got so much satisfaction out of watching the Liv Morgan fans lose their minds over Rhea Ripley winning the women's world title. Although, the amount of times that I saw some absolute brain-dead dipshits say Rhea Hogan on X. Oh my God. If you call Rhea Ripley Rhea Hogan, you deserve to get punched in the face. And I'm not saying that because how dare you insult my beloved mommy. That's not even why I think you should be punched in the face. I think you should be punched in the face because I think people that say dumb shit should get punched in the face to punch the dumbness out of them. Because calling her okay. And I said as much on X. Vince McMahon and his horrific booking the past decade has convinced so many fans that babyfaces are supposed to be booked terribly. They do not know how to react to a babyface that wins matches on a regular basis. If a babyface wins too many matches, all of a sudden, that's a problem. They absolutely throw conniption fits whenever any babyface wins matches for a long period of time. God forbid, like the worst thing you could do for some people is have any babyface win more than 5 matches in a row. They can win 4 matches, but they have to lose constantly. Or else they're Hogan. Or else they're being shoved down our throats. Vince McMahon has, with his awful booking, brain damaged people. Has traumatized people into just fearing babyfaces being pushed properly. Like the amount of shit that Cody Rhodes gets, unjustifiably. The amount of shit that Rhea Ripley gets, for no reason. Like, if you call her Rhea Hogan, you're an idiot. You are an absolute moron. You do not understand how wrestling works. In a successful wrestling company, you need to have top baby faces who win. You need that. You can't just constantly have heels winning and winning and winning and winning all the time. That was the Vince era where you had no top baby faces except for Roman Reigns, and everyone hated that. Everyone hated, because Roman Reigns legitimately was being pushed down everyone's throats. And I liked Roman Reigns back then, I still do, but even I hated his push. Don't even get me started on how I felt about John Cena being the top guy for so long. I was notorious for how much John Cena pissed me off back in the day. Although I do kind of regret how over the top I was about it. But I was young and I was dumb. But the point is, fans just rebel whenever any babyface gets any kind of momentum nowadays. Even if it was a babyface they liked 5 minutes ago. That Daniel Bryan promo where he chastised the fans for being fickle. That promo has aged just as well as CM Punk's promo about Vince McMahon in 2011. That promo has aged just as well as the infamous pipe bomb. That was basically Daniel Bryan's pipe bomb about the fans. Fickle. Fickle. You love them 1 second, but the second they start doing too well for your liking, all of a sudden they're Hogan. Also, calling Rhea Hogan is stupid for the following reason. As if I even need to say this. Hulk Hogan booked himself. He had creative control and actively went out of his way to sabotage other people. Rhea Ripley does what she is told. She does not have any creative control. She does not book herself. She is booked by Triple H and Triple H's team. She does what is asked of her. She has no power. That is a monumental difference. She is not Rhea Hogan because she doesn't actively sabotage other people. And if she does, I haven't heard about it. You who think she's Rhea Hogan, submit to me proof, evidence that you have, solid proof that you have of her sabotaging people backstage to maintain her status at the top of the women's division. Do you want to know why Rhea Ripley has been on top of the women's division for so long? Because so many women in WWE are mediocre at best. Do you really think that Zoe Stark deserves to be Women's World Champion instead? She sucks. What about Raquel? Raquel Gutierrez Sanchez Gonzalez Rodriguez. I still think it's stupid that they changed her name, but that was a Vince thing. I don't know why they haven't changed it back yet. I'm still angry about Michin, but what about Raquel? Do you hear the crowd die? Literally pass away the second she wanders out to the ring? There are very few women in WWE, especially on Raw, that are anywhere near even close to Rhea Ripley's level of star power. Yes, Liv Morgan had a good 2024. Yes, for obvious reasons, Liv Morgan, unfortunately, has her section of fans. And as I've discussed multiple times, the only fans that Liv Morgan has are horny dudes that want beat-off material, but they don't want to pay for OnlyFans, and little girls who probably shouldn't be watching wrestling in the first place. Just because, again, little girls see, wow, there's a little girl holding a belt that's almost as big as she is on TV. I can be that one day. Except the little girls watching Liv Morgan haven't hit their growth spurt yet, and most of them are going to end up being taller than Liv Morgan when they're half her age. My point is, yes, Liv Morgan is marketable to unfortunate audiences that are unfortunately also somehow wrestling fans. Liv Morgan is nowhere near as good in the ring as Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan is not as good on the microphone as Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley isn't spectacular on the microphone herself. That's like that's her one weakness. She's loud Australian goth woman on the microphone. That's who she is. She's not great on promos. But Liv Morgan has Vicky Guerrero's voice. Like if Chelsea Green and Vicky Guerrero had a baby and that baby decided to become a Twitch thought, that would be Liv Morgan's promos. That ha 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 that Liv Morgan does, anyone can do that. That annoying ass laugh ha 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 that Liv Morgan does, everyone can do that. It's not, oh, I want to see someone beat you up, heel heat. It's, oh my god, where's the remote? I need to watch something else before I kill myself. That kind of heat. It's the wrong kind of heat. Rhea Ripley's a bigger star than Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley is a better wrestler than Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley is all around better than Liv Morgan in every conceivable way. So, yeah, no shit. They gave her back the champion. Liv Morgan, honestly, did, in my opinion, you can disagree, and I will disagree with your disagreement, so take that. Liv Morgan did not deserve to have that championship for as long as she did. And honestly, her holding it for so long, in my opinion, kind of devalues it and makes it harder for me to take that championship seriously because I failed to take Liv Morgan seriously. She's not good. 2024 was her best year, but that doesn't make her amazing. That means anyone can have a good year. Nia Jax had a good year. Although she did get pretty tremendous heat on the most recent episode of Raw. So kudos. She also has an annoying ass voice. But just all the anti-Rhea-tards, just go fuck yourselves. Like, if you don't like Rhea Ripley, that's fine. I'm not sitting here saying you have to like her, but just the whole Rhea Hogan thing is dumb as shit, and anyone who says it deserves to get punched in the face. Specifically because dumb people deserve to get punched in the face. Like, I wish it was legal to beat the dumb out of people. That would be a full-time job for a lot of people, beating the dumb out of people. I hate stupid people. And unfortunately, wrestling fans, that's just part of the experience when you're a wrestling fan. Because most wrestling fans are fucking dumb. And they're also whiny little bitches who are unhappy about anything that happens. But anyway. Also, I do want to talk about probably the funniest thing that happened on the premiere of Raw on Netflix. This is one area where I will agree.
Powering down.
Oh, my lightsaber powered down. That actually startled me. But there is one aspect of something that happened on the premiere where I will agree with the vast majority of people. Bro, it is 2025. No one needs Hulk Hogan. It is mind-boggling to me that they still trot his useless old ass out on stage at this point. Why? Just why? And a lot of people, I was talking briefly about politics, and I said I was going to bring that up again here. I know a lot of people were thinking, oh, the reason why the crowd booed Hulk Hogan out of the building is because, oh, they're in California. He's a Trump fan. Of course they're going to boo him. That might be a small part of it. But here's the thing. Here's the problem with that. You want to know who else is a huge Trump fan? The Undertaker. The Undertaker, speaking of Rhea Ripley, randomly appeared for no reason at all when Rhea Ripley won back the Women's World title, thank God. Could not get that thing off of Liv Morgan fast enough. But The Undertaker came out, and he got an ovation. People loved The Undertaker. And it's well known. For God's sakes, The Undertaker had Trump on his podcast. It is common knowledge what The Undertaker's... The dude's a big, massive Texan. Of course he's a Republican. Everyone knows it. You can take one look at the guy, and you're like, yeah, he's probably a Republican. And he got cheered in California. You want to know why they booed Hulk Hogan? Because he's Hulk Hogan. Not because he's a Trump fan. They booed him because Hulk Hogan's an asshole. Because he's a liar. Because he's a piece of garbage. And because it's 2025 and frankly everyone's sick and tired of hearing about him. I know that I am. I've never been a Hulk Hogan fan. I've never liked Hulk Hogan. I've never liked Stone Cold Steve Austin. I've never liked John Cena, although I have very much softened on John Cena as of late. The only person on the pro wrestling or WWE Mount Rushmore that I like, at least somewhat, is The Rock. Although he did his damnedest to try and ruin that last year, but he made up for it. But, yeah, Hulk Hogan, he didn't get booed because he's a Republican. He got booed because he's Hulk Hogan. And, again, I mentioned the Solid Monster. I commented on his video about it because he talked about it. I posted the following comment. I'm a conservative. I voted for Donald Trump. When Hulk Hogan came out, I booed too. And someone replied to that comment saying, who says the left and the right can't agree on some things? And I was like, I know, right? The left and the right can agree on this. Hulk Hogan sucks. I mean, if you want to go even further back, it's not even just because it's California. I mean, back at WrestleMania 37, which was in Florida, which is, Hulk Hogan's home state, where he was born, allegedly, they booed him there too. Remember when they had him come out as a pirate next to Titus O'Neil. You ain't Little John, ho! The Florida crowd booed Hulk Hogan. This dude gets booed in Florida and in California. It's not because of his politics. It is not because... It's because of who he is. It's because he's lame as fuck and he's a liar and he's a disingenuous piece of shit. And also, beer is just ass, but that's my opinion. Alcohol, in general, is bad. I don't like Cody Rhodes's... What does he have? Vodka or tequila? Whatever Cody Rhodes's alcohol is. That sucks too, but alcohol as in general... I'm a teetotaler, so therefore alcohol sucks. If you don't know what a teetotaler is, you have Google right there. Fix that. I'm not going to explain it to you. I have a lightsaber. I don't need to explain shit. But anyway, so... Although, again, I mentioned it a second ago, the second episode of Raw on Netflix was so much better. And now's where I'm going to circle back around to shitting on Tony Khan some more. The debut of Penta was absolutely spectacular, and he had a great match with Chad Gable. And basically, that entire thing was just a gigantic fuck you to Tony Khan. In this one match, he looked better, was presented better, and just everything was just infinitely better than anything he did in AEW. Even that vaunted, magical, magnificent steel cage match that he and Rey Fenix had against the Young Bucks. Which I will say, I also thought that was a good match. But presentation included, just everything, just... I hate this word because it's one of those dumb Zoomer words that they've ruined and absolutely killed. But the vibe of Penta on Raw was just otherworldly. Although, of course, someone has a complaint about something. Literally everyone was shitting on Penta's music when it came out. Penta's music is fine. Do you have to find something to shit on, people? His music was fine. And people were shitting on his daughter that was crying because she was happy about him when he came out. And I'm just like, you people suck. Wrestling fans suck. Although I'm fairly certain that was just a butthurt AEW fan, which there are less and less and less of these days. Again, if AEW survives 2025, I'll be stunned. But this was such a massive repudiation of Tony Khan and AEW in general. Just how amazing and how much of a star Penta looked like in just one segment on WWE. Just, dude, you know that Ricky Starks, Malachi Black, Rey Fenix, Camille, and a bunch of others are like, oh my god, you physically cannot get me in front of a WWE camera fast enough. It is only a matter of time, and it might already be happening. The floodgates. Because the floodgates were swinging one way a couple of years ago. People in WWE couldn't get to AEW fast enough. Well, now, how the turns have tabled, and we know how much that wrestling loves tables, especially the audience. But, man, the floodgates are opening in the opposite direction now, and AEW talent cannot get to WWE fast enough. And my god, every time something like... I wish that I had a camera on Tony Khan's face when Penta was coming to the ring and doing his stuff on Raw this past Monday. I wish I could have seen Tony Khan's face. All 80 of the weird, just socially inept faces Tony Khan was able to cobble together. Just... Tony Khan's such a strange dude, but I would have loved to have seen his reaction to Penta actually looking valuable on someone else's TV screen. And I so badly cannot wait to see Ricky Starks on WWE TV. I can't wait to see Aleister Black back. Try saying that 5 times fast. I cannot wait to see what Rey Fenix is going to look like. I want to see Camille. First, I want to see Camille in NXT because she's still kind of green. And AEW and that whole thing, that whole kerfuffle with Mercedes did her no favors whatsoever. But man, that whole segment was just a giant middle finger to Tony Khan, and I loved every solitary second of it. And the entire show was good, and by and large was better than the premiere. Although, again, people are acting like the premiere was the worst thing they'd ever seen because everyone's overdramatic as fuck, and it's annoying. But It was a very good episode. If there's one thing that I just cannot get out of my head, it was during the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai, which is another instance where fans can't stop bitching about stupid shit. Everyone was like, we want Dakota Kai to win. And then Lyra won. Why did Lyra Valkyria win the Intercontinental title instead of Dakota Kai? Because Lyra Valkyria is a better wrestler and she has way more potential. I'm sorry, but Dakota Kai is not that good in the ring. She's fine. She's okay. She's just not great. She's just, like, she's kind of sloppy. Lyra is way better in the ring than she is, and she has way more of an upside. She needs more of a personality, but she's young. She can develop that. Also, just saying, why is Dakota Kai's finishing move not that sunset flip backstabber? She calls it the chiropractor. Why is that not her finishing move? The GTK sucks. Especially the way she kind of does it. When she does it, it most of the time looks terrible. But that suplex off the apron was nasty. Like, hey, my name's Lyra Valkyria. I have an idea for a spot, Dakota Kai. I'm going to suplex you off the apron, and I'm going to knock the wind out of both of us. Yeah, that sounds great. Ow. That spot hurt to watch. That was nuts. But yeah, so far, Raw on Netflix, I have enjoyed. I love the way it looks. I actually do like the logos on the mat. I think that looks cool. I don't watch UFC, but one thing I like about UFC, and I like about New Japan, and I liked about WCW, I just like the way the ring looks when there's stuff in the ring. I like it when there's logos in the ring. Like on my TAW show, every arena that I make, there's always some kind of logo or something in the ring. Because I'm sorry, I just think the clean white ring is just boring to look at. I like it when there's a little something going on in the ring that like makes it more vibrant, I guess. I get that some people don't like it because they're used to there being nothing in the ring, but you know what? You'll get used to it. Cry me a river. Jack Perry is somewhere. Not succeeding, because that's what he does best. But yeah, so I very much have enjoyed Raw on Netflix thus far, and I'm looking forward to what happens on the next episode. And actually, in February, I believe on the 17th, I actually, a couple months ago, bought a ticket. Because Raw is going to be in North Carolina on that episode, and I will actually be at that show live. And I was at AEW Dynamite a couple years ago with my brother. And a couple years after that, I think it was like 1 year ago or 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, I went to SmackDown because SmackDown was also in South Carolina. Because I've been to AEW Dynamite, I've been to SmackDown, and now I'm going to my first ever episode of Raw. And I'm very excited about that, and I am planning on recording stuff and making a video out of it like I normally do. So I'll be looking forward to that next month. And I have a whole bunch of stuff coming down the pipe, both here on Post TAP, on Rumble, and on my YouTube channel. Once again, go subscribe. I'll turn my lightsaber back on. In fact, I'm going to do it right now.
Powering on.
Yeah! So this is how we're going to end the episode, with more lightsaber bullshit.